Next up, it's time for a look at the day's biggest business news. And for that, France 24's Cole Stangler joins us from his home. Hello there, Cole. The new monthly jobs report is out in the United States, and it's not good news.
That's right, Charlie. Analysts were expecting over 400,000 jobs to be added. In the end, just 245,000 added ultimately for the month of November. The unemployment rate did fall from 6.9% to 6.7%, but that's because you really had people dropping out of the labor force, meaning they're not even counted as looking for work. Really the latest sign that the recovery is slowing in the United States. According to these figures, November is now the fifth straight month where we've seen declining job growth figures. All that being said, didn't seem to have too much of an impact today on the markets, in large part because investors actually hope that those negative numbers could put more pressure on policymakers in Washington to pass another round of stimulus. Let's get you those market figures here. Wall Street ultimately closing out the week then on a high note. Shares on the Dow Jones up around 0.8%. Slightly bigger gains on the S&P, up nearly 0.9%. Tech-heavy Nasdaq up as well, 0.7%. And also gains on the European indexes close of the week. FTSE in London up 0.9%. Shares on the DAX in Frankfurt up 1/3%. And the CAC 40 here in Paris up around 0.6%.
Now, Cole, we've been hearing for months in the U.S. about a potential coronavirus stimulus deal, another one to replace the one that ran out. What do we know about this latest agreement that Congress is hammering out and the chances that it's going to work?
Well, it'd be a lot smaller than the deals that were floated before the election. This one would be just over $900 billion, which is a lot less than those multi-trillion-dollar deals we were talking about before. This new compromise, really the product of some Senate Republican and Democratic senators working together. And apparently it satisfied Democratic leaders enough to say that it's a good starting point for moving forward. Just to give you some of the key elements of this plan being hammered out: support for small businesses, aid for state governments, the extension of certain unemployment relief programs. But critically, it does not look like it's going to include another round of those $1,200 stimulus checks like we saw in a previous stimulus plan. As far as timing goes, lawmakers said at a press conference today they could have a deal pushing for an agreement by next Monday. Either way, though, Charlie, stakes very, very high here. As I was saying, that jobs report not very good. The recovery is slowing. And then also, as you mentioned, the aid from previous recovery packages is really starting to run dry. On December 26th, day after Christmas, you have two very important unemployment benefit programs expiring, could affect millions of Americans. So certainly a lot of pressure on Congress to get some sort of stimulus across the finish line.
Right. A lot of Americans in need and keeping their eyes on whether or not help will be coming in time for the holidays. Cole Stangler from our business desk, thank you so much for that update. And now I'm going to take a short break, but do stay with us. I'll be back in just a few minutes with more news you need to know.
Our reporters take us deep into the Amazon rainforest to the village of Kako, where the Hmong people arrived from Indochina 40 years ago.
Ici, on a trouvé notre terre, donc la Guyane française.
There was nothing when they arrived. Everything you see is down to their hard work. Roads, schools, homes, crops.
Ils nous font vivre la Guyane avec leurs plantations, avec leurs légumes, ce qui reste très important pour nous.
Once used as backup troops by the French in the Indochina War of the 1950s, the Hmong people have successfully integrated into Guyana's multi-ethnic society. Join us to discover these former refugees and their crucial role in their adopted homeland. In Revisited on France 24 and France24.com.